The Intertwining of Mathematics into Art by Aileen Miller. Mathematics are constantly intertwining with everyday life, whether it is you simply passing by the mathematically planned out architecture or if you're a high schooler like I and you come in contact with math in class. But mathematics are now sneaking into the world of art, in which the impact it has had is increasingly becoming larger. Many people may think that these two topics differ greatly from one another, but if you are as skilled and interested in math as I am, when looking at the painting rather than seeing the colors, I look at lines and the patterns the artist had created. Art ranging from the elementary level to significant pieces such as the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo have been depicted by a multitude of mathematics, whether the artists themselves realized it or not. From making parts of a drawing proportional, which means corresponding in size to something else, to making sure a circle is actually circular, mathematics is taking part. If you walked up to someone and asked them if they had thought math had anything to do with art, what do you think their answer would be? Many people would say, "No way does math have to do anything with art. Art is just a form of expression, not a bunch of numbers." But it is actually the polar opposite. Professor Annalisa Kernel teaches a course on this concept, and people walking into the lectures being more scared of math than art come out thinking vice versa. Think about realistic artworks. Everything needs to be specifically in the right place or else something would look off about it. For example, if it is not put in the right perspective on the page, something may look closer to the plane of image than it actually should be, throwing off everything else in it. Leonardo da Vinci is one commonly looked upon when touching upon the topic of mathematics integration into art. His drawing, Vitruvian Man, depicts a man perfectly proportional. The only way that he could have created this was taking his math skills and putting it onto his canvas. The world of mathematical art from here only grows larger. Like I had mentioned before, some artists may not realize that math is shaping what they are drawing or creating. Iranian math genius Hamid Yagana is intentionally bringing math into art. Math is really the only reason he started creating art. College student Yagana thought he would never be the artist that he is today, but the idea of bringing math into artwork had crossed his mind and never left. Hamid states, "At first I was interested in beautiful symmetric shapes. So I started to create mathematical figures using trigonometric functions to define the endpoints of line segments. After a while, I understood I could find interesting shapes that looked like real-life things, such as animals." He is making incredible pieces of artwork using cosine and sine formulas he created himself to fit upon what he is depicting. By creating formulas with a variable, he is able to plug in values 1 to 500, for example, to depict what can range from a bird in flight to what can look like a flower. Not only using cosine and sine functions like I had mentioned, but computer-generated programming created by his mathematics skills, images created by these numbers were and are created instantaneously. He says, "The images I make are defined by basic mathematical concepts. At first, I use multiple formulas to create many different images. Then, I choose the best results." Many compare him to the great artist, Leonardo da Vinci, who I had spoken about previously. Who knows what greater innovations he can make drilling his head into these concepts, creating mathematical art that in anyone's eyes is great satisfaction. He proudly stated that the power of mathematics is unlimited. There is an infinite number of great artworks that we can create. There is more left to come in this undiscovered magical world of mathematical art. Do you see these fancy letters right here? The style of writing is called calligraphy, and it is indeed considered artwork. Now you're probably thinking, writing is artwork? These two things absolutely cannot be connected, is what you're thinking. To make it even crazier, let's bring the notion of mathematics being intertwined with these topics as well. Believe it or not, this is a real thing. Researchers from the University of Delaware have been creating a computer programming with the help of, you guessed it, math, to explore the promise of writing assessment software. Writing such as essays, paragraphs, all forms of art, are being graded and corrected instantly with the mathematic technology possessed by this new and upcoming programming. Not only is it making students of a younger age want to write, but it is allowing them to correct their mistakes right away, making them want to write even more. Equations made up for the program are correcting grammatical mistakes, help with content and reasoning itself as well. Putting papers into the software is not only benefiting with the writer getting an outcome, it is benefiting the math world as well. Mathematicians are working very hard to receive results such as this when doing many things. And by this one small step in creating a program fixing components of personal artwork, who knows how far they'll be able to innovate further into the future. Both math and art are universal languages that anyone can understand. The intertwining of the two is allowing for further conquests throughout the world for anyone. Putting the two together may not be on the top of your to-do list, but it is something making the world a more positive and innovative place every day.